Hey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. There's Matt appearing in the middle there very dramatically to the slightly delayed 5th anniversary Sequelisers live stream. Welcome, everybody. It's going to be a big one, to say the least. We're going to start off with some cool announcements and stuff, and then we'll get into a big Ultimate Film Showdown Tournament of Champions thing that is basically all of the incredible movies that we've picked from all the incredible directors we've picked over the last 16 live streams with various guests, and decide the ultimate film from the ultimate director. Before we get into all of that, if you don't know me already, I am Jack Chambers Ward, one of your hosts. You can see our little faces and Twitter logos down the bottom there. Next to me is Mr. Matthew Stogden. Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
How are you?
Tired. I was filming this morning.
Me too. We were filming some Super Happy Kill Time. It was exciting.
We were doing some filming. Next week we got some more filming lined up on Saturday, and at that point Jack will be wrapped on the show, which is kind of crazy considering his character has only just turned up in the episodes we've seen thus far.
And I first shot stuff for you in 2017 when I first went to Japan.
That's right.
So I've been filming it for 5 years. I've only just shown up, and I'm about to wrap my filming. And speaking of stars of Super Happy Kill Time, of course, the third Sequelizer joiing us. It's Tim Matum. How are you, Tim?
Hello, I'm all right. I have not been filming today. I have been doing some tweaks on my final pitch of the season.
Oh, that's exciting.
Which we're recording tomorrow.
Yes, we're recording. Oh, yeah. For those of you who are not up to date on Sequelizers, we'll just give you a clue in. The most recent episode for patrons, which went up yesterday, is Season 10, Episode 10, which is Paul Blart Mall Cop 2, which is my pitch for that, and it's an adventure, to say the least. It's a journey. Here's the lovely version of the three of us with Paul Blart appropriate mustaches. And
it worries me how much
crane, apparently.
Yeah, it worries me how much I look like Paul Blart in that.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Tim.
I think I really need... I can never grow a mustache.
You are the least facial head of the three of us, so that's probably wise. Yeah. Can you grow a mustache if you really wanted to? An option?
All my past attempts have failed, but I have not tried in a while, so...
Fair. Well, yes, that will come out for Tuesday for all of you lovely people who listen on all the usual podcast services, as usual. And next episode, going up on Friday for patrons, and the following week, apparently is even worse than Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Somehow, some way. We've had a few guesses in the Discord. We've had a few different people suggesting what it could possibly be worse than Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. And we're going to be recording a commentary and the episode tomorrow. And I will be seeing the film for the first time while doing a commentary and then recording the episode straight away afterwards. And I don't think I'm ready.
You are in for whatever the opposite of a treat is.
A shit?
Yeah, in for a shit.
Just a big old poo.
In for a shit, in for a pound.
In for a turd. Oh, we've got some regulars joining us in the live chat. Hello, people. Welcome to the show. Bradley kicked us off. Tim Blart. Just straight away. Brutal.
Yeah.
Ice. That's an ice cold assassination right there, Bradley. Thank you so much. A fellow Tim. Hello, Tim. Starting off with Uru, the now infamous Scott Pilgrim cosplayer we have in the live chat. That Tim joins us fairly regularly. Another regular, Dr. Vincent Gain. Hello. Welcome. Who I believe has just moved out of Norwich. He was a regular at Matt's movie quizzes and stuff like that. Hope all is well, Vincent. Thank you for joining us. Canis Rufus, another regular. Welcome. My co-host from my other podcast, Search with Candor, Mark Williams Cook, is there. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the live stream. Mark is also my boss.
This is a 1-to-1. It's just really different.
Yeah. This is actually... I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary working at Candor, and this is actually my appraisal. I just haven't been told yet.
Jack, we're very pleased with how you've been performing. But
what areas you can improve in, though?
Yeah. What would you say your biggest weakness is?
Paul Blart 2.
my hyperglycemia. Oh, one of the executive producers, James McDowell. Hello, James. Welcome to the chat. So yes, we're going to dive into some announcements first of all. I know we've been teasing some cool stuff coming up. I have one in my hand here, a brand new piece of merch we've never done before. That's not funny, Matthew.
It's a dick mold. It's very funny.
It's not. It's a Mulder Willy and you get to choose which sequelizer you get, and then you have to guess.
Listen, we've done Paul Blart 2. Our standards for what is funny has considerably dropped down.
That's true. And
That's true.
apparently, just me describing stuff during the synopses made one of our listeners who mentioned it on the Discord vomit. That's right. I have the power to make people vomit with my words. Here's a little snippet from our Discord from Tyler, who says, "Congratulations, Jack. To start this comment, I do experience the full ASMR thing, tingling and whatnot. It's exceptionally rare that I vomit at things that aren't either actual illness or triggering smell. Earlier in the week, I had the first experience of a visual trigger with a scene in The Boys. If you've seen some of the latest episodes of The Boys, you know what he's talking about. You just did it with the Imagine ASMR, but it's just Kevin James grunting. Literal vomit on the floor. It scratched a part of my brain that I puked."
We should point out for those who have yet to hear the episode, because it obviously goes up for the public on Tuesday. Still listen. It's fine. You might not vomit.
Unless
you might
you
be
have,
all right.
like sensory overload or some like active imagination, a combination of the two.
Yeah, we go to see an epilepsy warning. Same thing here, but vomit warning.
I nearly did those as the executive producer. I was also the editor for the episode, by the way, folks. So I nearly put it in as the executive producer. Was just him, just during the Cirque du Soleil scene. But no, I picked legit lines, and usually I pick jokes from the thing and the funny bits, but I was unable to do that. So
yes, it's not a film that actually has any funny bits. So
no, unfortunately not.
Not.
But yes, I believe it is the first episode of Sequelisers to actively make a listener vomit. So that's something to be proud of, right? I guess.
That we've been made aware of, certainly.
That we've been made aware of. Yeah, exactly. What I do have in my hand, in fact, is our first ever enamel pin badge in the shape of our logo. It's a proper little cutout, hard enamel pin badge, 3D, all like... I see if I can get it in focus. Hold on.
Yeah, it's extremely high quality. It's really impressed with it.
Focus,
but
come on.
The camera doesn't want you to have
that. No. Come on.
God, it's like watch that scene in Apollo 13 where they're trying to get the shuttle to line up.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's the interstellar docking sequence.
Yes. Constantly spinning.
Yeah. No, it's not working. But yes, these will be going up on our shop very, very soon. Joining those lovely little pin badges is our latest t-shirt design. And when I say this is the best t-shirt design I've ever seen John Scarrett do, and I think I've seen most of them at this point, I'm not exaggerating. It is amazing. As we know, it's our 5-year anniversary. It's been a hell of a journey. As we know, also, I'm going to flash a little graphic up here as well. 1 million downloads and listens for the show, 10 seasons, the 3 of us, and 5 years of doing the show. And to celebrate that, we have this fucking awesome t-shirt from the one and only John Scarrett. The Resurrection Tour 2022 with that, which could be 2 for Sequelisers, could be V for the 5 years. Double, it's double entendre. Very clever. Not only that, because it says Resurrection Tour, it actually has the dates and cities of which we have visited throughout the history of Sequelisers and the Sequelisers logo. It is a front and back print. Lovely, gorgeous design by John Scarrett. That is currently with the printers. I was hoping to have one here to kind of show off and stuff. There's been a bit of delays with the printers, as is the world at the moment. That's pretty much how everything is. We will have them very, very shortly. Within the next week or 2, they should be ready and in our hands. I have all the packaging ready, and we will get them up on the shop as soon as we can. And for you lovely patrons who are due an exclusive t-shirt, we are doing a variant of that t-shirt that you will get for free if you're on the exclusive merch tier as well. Of course, the discount codes on all the merch and stuff still work from Patreon. I will repost that once this merch stuff goes live, so you can still use that code that worked 2 or 3. Hey, Matt's got a pin badge there.
I'm going to focus. No,
it refuses to focus.
What
It will never focus.
What about? What about? Ooh, what about now?
It's just in line with your face now.
Now it is.
Anyway,
no, too far.
It's also
So,
got
yeah.
a little secret message on the back.
It has. You're never if you couldn't get the main thing to focus. You'll have to buy the actual thing to see what it says on the back there. But there is sneaky little letters on the back there as well, actually hard printed into the back of the enamel. It is a gorgeous, really high quality. We make sure when we do make merch, it is the highest quality. It's all produced by local sources and all built and made by British companies here in the UK as well. We want to support smaller businesses and local businesses and local creators like John as well. We want to make sure, we're working with local printers here in Norwich. They're using eco-friendly t-shirts. We've got a wider range of sizes now because I know we had a few my fellow big boys and big ladies and big people who wanted to go up a size or two. We will have bigger sizes now. We now have them available, and we might even expand the collection at a later point as well. So yeah, that is our anniversary announcement. New t-shirt, pin badges, all happening on the Sequelisers shop very soon. Plus a Patreon variant and all that good stuff coming very soon as well. So, with the announcements out of the way, shall we get stuck in, gentlemen?
We need as little preamble as possible because this is going to be exceptionally difficult.
It's going to be tough. If you haven't already seen the bracket, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to flash it up now for you. This is not the interactable version. We'll have a look at the bracket just as a quick flash. I did post it and kind of zoom around and have a look at it on our Twitter page earlier, about half an hour ago, and I also did it on our Instagram page and all that kind of stuff. I kind of zoom around and give a list of all the films and stuff. But this is what we're dealing with: the ultimate film showdown to finally crown an ultimate film winner of all of the incredible films we've covered, and all the winners basically of the previous live streams we've done, including all of the ones with guests, including the ones we've done ourselves, but not including the Christmas one. The Christmas one was the exclusionary one. But apart from that, there's stuff from Spielberg, there's Scorsese, there's Del Toro, there's Villeneuve, there's Smith, there's Wright, Bong Joon-ho, like fucking everybody. Anyone who's anyone.
Park Chan-wook.
Park Chan-wook, yeah. It's this like amazing, incredible list of films. So we should probably...
It's a daunting thing because we're not going to be able to do this well because there's certain things like, it's not going to be up the starting block because it's unfortunately placed. Oh, well, never mind. And there are things where we're like, oh, my favorite movies. Shit.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult to be objective. As you tweeted earlier, Tim, like this is going to be very much like, well, this is my favorite. Well, this is my favorite. Like, they're all fucking great. It's going to be difficult to select.
That's why we have three people to judge, because one person's got to make the odd choice.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is going to be difficult because again, we've seen all these, so we know they are good, and there's no like, oh, we'll throw it to the crowd. Like, no. This is purely on us, and that's not a selfish thing, although it's quite selfish. It's so we can't offset and say, wow, it's not my fault because so-and-so said it. It's not my fault because I had a guess. It's not my fault because the crowd who were in that day said a certain thing. It's like, no, this is on us. This is like the Christmas episode all over again.
And so I was with some friends a couple of weeks ago and showed them this bracket, and there were definitely some controversial choices on there that people were like, how did you end up with that one as that director's best film? Yeah. To which I say, go back and rewatch our previous
Our logic was there.
But yeah, I think no matter what anyone says, these are all very good films.
I would recommend every single one of these.
Yeah. So it's going to be extremely difficult to...
Yeah.
Especially once we start getting in there, there's maybe a couple of weak links in there, but even from the jump, there are some very hard decisions we have to make.
Yeah, they're sieved out quickly. I think it's going to be problematic. It's like, oh god, should we zoom straight in?
I'll pass control over to you, Matthew, to zoom around and.
Thank you. I will give you a quick overview. Inception versus Dogma, Jurassic Park versus The Thing, Inglourious Basterds versus Zodiac, Pan's Labyrinth versus Shaun of the Dead, then all the way over here, The Departed versus Apollo 13, The Handmaiden versus The Big Lebowski, Alien versus Road to Perdition, There Will Be Blood versus Dune, as we now know, part 1. Right.
Whew. It's a hell of a list, gentlemen. A hell of a list.
And the weird thing is, we don't have to. I feel like time-wise, this is going to take us a long time to get there. But the truth is, we don't need to really discuss much because
we've covered them all already, right?
At great length. We can obviously go over it again. Our thoughts might have changed.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe this got here. That's all fine. That's all part and parcel of the experience. But that's all just putting off the inevitable.
I mean, our usual model for these is that it takes us a long time to do the first round, and then once we get in towards the middle, it happens quite snappily because we've described the films, we've talked about their strengths and their weaknesses and things like that. I think this one is going to be the opposite. Where it's going to get harder and harder and longer decisions and talking through different aspects of the films and logic and stuff like that the closer we get to the middle.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Tim.
So Matt and I discussed this when we were filming earlier. Have you wargamed it, Tim, where you have kind of done it in your head or by clicking through on your own time and working out if it was Tim's decision, what would Tim pick? Do you have an idea?
I did. I can't remember. I did it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I can't remember what it ended up being. Wow. I had a brief look at them earlier on today and just kind of thought about what my first round picks were, but I didn't want to predict any further than that because I knew that I was but one voice amongst the triumvirate.
Well, similarly, and by similarly, I mean the exact opposite. I've done it 3 times, and every time I got a different answer.
Oh wow! Wait! What?
Yeah,
did you do them like days apart and be like, well, on Monday I picked this, and Thursday I picked this?
I did it separate days, and I was like, I picked that. Right, let's go gut instinct. What do you think? This, and I whipped through it very quickly, like forced myself, gun to my head, go. Then I did it another couple of days later. I was like, no, let's be honest for a second. Let's talk about the impact of cinema. And then the third time around, I was like, fuck the impact of cinema. What do I feel? And every time was a different response. I was like, well, that's great. So the long pause is just me going and having a breakdown, to be honest. So
fair. Well, let's dive in, shall we?
Yep.
We've got Inception versus Dogma, and I have got the stats here, but I will be as brief as I can. Inception from 2010, of course, the winner of the Christopher Nolan bracket. 87% on the tomatometer, 91 on the audience score, versus the winner of the Kevin Smith bracket, which is Dogma from 1999, 67 on the tomatometer and 85 on the audience score. Quite different on the old tomatometer, to say the least. I think this is the most disparate combination of films in terms of tomatometer in the entire bracket, and we're kicking off with that. So, yeah,
that's the nature of guests. But to be fair, I maintain this. Dogma's a good film. I enjoy it. I actually think it's actually got a lot of, as a Catholic person as well, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of actually interesting internal debate and discussion from someone who's like just trying to figure out their own shit. I'm like, yeah, it's got good storytelling, yada, 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 yada. That being said, to prolong things here, just a little bit.
Just a smidge.
I've got for each one of these, I've got a hypothetical before we jump into the real one.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. We're going to be here forever.
Don't worry. It's a brief hypothetical. So Nolan, Inception 1. Prestige was the alternate. Okay. In the Smith one, obviously Dogma 1, but Clerks was the alternate.
Oh, I see what you're doing
there. This
there.
was the Prestige versus Clerks. What would the situation be? Does that make it easier or harder?
Without revealing my answer, revealing my first vote, either way of those two options, I would pick the same director.
That I get
the winner of that director's bracket, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I agree. I actually see what you're saying entirely. I think I still don't. Clerks and Dogma, I'm like, yeah, I could see either one of those winning. I wouldn't be unhappy either way. Prestige and Inception, I think for me it was always going to be Inception. I think that was still but that was that would still be my answer to today in terms of which one would win of those two. Makes it easier. I think I'm Jack. I think either way I'm picking the same thing. So, yeah. What about you, Tim?
How do you feel about it?
It's a really interesting combination because I actually, sitting here and thinking about them, I actually think Dogma has more interesting things to say than Inception does. From a philosophical, from a emotional, from a thinking about grappling with the themes that it tries to grapple with.
It's the thinking man's Inception. I get it, Tim.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think Inception is an extremely well executed heist thriller with a dusting of what if it's all a dream on it.
Whereas count the shells, suck a duck, and that's just fucking
Whereas Dogma actually has thoughts about belief and stuff that I think, again, well,
that was Kevin Smith.
Somewhere. That was on my end. It was Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I think it actually it dives into its topics a little bit more thoroughly than Inception does. I don't think Christopher Nolan's actually that interested in dreams. I think he's more interested in it's an excuse to do some very interesting things with the camera that we can do mostly in practical things.
Going to the chat very briefly here, we've got a few different options. Tim A actually picking Dogma. Vincent Gain, Dr. Gain picking Inception and saying that Dogma winning the Kevin Smith bracket still baffles him. I stand by Dogma, for the record, being Smith's best movie. Whatever. Gotta go Inception from Drake Jones. Important fact about Dogma, it also has a poop demon.
It does also have a poop demon in it.
If it's a question of which film has a poop demon, there's only one answer there.
Can we do a new bracket?
Yeah, if we could redo this Ultimate Poop Showdown.
Yeah.
We just do, does it have a poop demon? And we see which one wins.
Somehow Inception wins. You're like, what? And you realize that when the water comes in the dream sequence, it's not water. You're like, oh
no.
It's just sewage.
From John's Garrett, I love it when Jay and Silent Bob fight in the... Oh, God. I love when Jay and Silent Bob fight in the rotating corridor. Can you imagine?
Snooch to the motherfucking no!
I can perfectly picture that joke, and it would be that they're completely at home with it because they're so stoned all the time, and everyone else has real problems with it.
Yeah.
Wait, this isn't happening for you all the time? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Should we dive in then, gentlemen?
Let's get a vote.
I shall cast my first vote. I will vote for Inception. Oh, Tim?
Yes, despite my defense of Dogma just then, in terms of just filmmaking, Inception wins. Dogma has a very special place in my heart, but Inception is a better film.
Same.
Completely
agree. Totally agree. So Nolan has defeated Kevin Smith. So everybody with a film degree, you can rejoice or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody
whatever you guys do these days.
But everyone with a podcast needs to gang up outside our house now.
It's people with a film degree versus podcasters, and there's that dangerous Venn diagram where they cross over, and we don't talk about those people. Okay, coming into this first round,
God,
which I have been dreading for about a month. Because these are two films in my top 5 films of all time. I am vocal about my love of The Thing and very vocal about my love of Jurassic Park. I've been fucking dreading this.
In an alternate universe, the three of us, where Tim has a beard that looks like mine, and I'm clean shaven, and Jack still looks like Jack for some reason.
I look like The Thing.
He's got an eye patch.
He has an eye patch. Well, that's relevant because in the alternate universe, it's Raiders of the Lost Ark versus Escape from New York.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I don't think that's as tricky as this one.
Oh, that's nowhere near as tricky for me. No.
Yeah.
I have a pretty easy, I would pick that one. But with this one, I am fucking dreading it. I will dive into the details on Rotten Tomatoes before we get into voting and stuff. Jurassic Park from 1993 is a 92% on the tomatometer and a 91% on the audience score compared to 1982's The Thing, which is an 83 on the tomatometer and a 92 on the audience score. So a 1% difference on the audience score, but Jurassic Park edging out there by about 9% on the tomatometer and the critics. So, yeah, this is a tricky one.
I mean, they are weirdly comparable.
In the effects department and all that sort of
stuff. They are
revolutionary effects,
revolutionary special effects. They are both about a relatively isolated group of people dealing with a thing trying to get loose.
Yep.
As Zenos correctly points out, that's a lot of teeth.
Yeah, there's a lot of teeth in
Yeah.
both films. There's some gnarly, fluffy, cute animals being killed off screen in horrible ways.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that the ending miffs some people in both of them. Some people it's too abrupt, some people it's too ambiguous, and I think both work obviously perfectly. But I'm just saying that some people go, not happy about that. And I was like, well, that's thing. It's interesting point, Tim. There's a lot to clarify, compare between them, because every time I'm like, oh, well, this one has this. I'm like, yeah, so does the other one. Like, shit. One's got this amazing, performance. Yeah, so does that one. Shit.
Yeah.
Having said that,
if we're going on the poop demon scale, all movies should be judged by the poop demon scale.
Well, technically, there's like, a lot of toilet stuff in both of them.
As a guy being eaten off a toilet, that's about as close as you get to the poop demon. And there's some real gross, horrible potential poop demon shit going on.
Isn't it saying what I think maybe Mac or no, not Mac, it was Windows, I think possibly, about someone trying to flush their shredded, dirty long johns down the toilet or something like that. To get rid of the evidence. So
that's very true.
I oddly enough, I've been wrestling with this one. This isn't like I'm going to think about this now. I've been thinking about this since this bracket came up.
Me too.
I have an answer. It's taken me a long time to get to that answer.
Ooh.
I feel like I'm going to explain myself after I give the answer, but if you want me to do it beforehand, I'm more than happy to. It's up to you.
You're up first, Matthew. Please dive in.
Oh, I am. Yeah. My answer is Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay.
Now,
okay.
Explain yourself. I adore The Thing. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I watch it pretty much every year. Jurassic Park, similarly, it's not about nostalgia of, I watched it at a certain age, blah, blah, blah. And we can't even say, it's the best example of that director's work. It's like, yes, but all these things are, you dickhead. And again, both have aged spectacularly well. It's only things that edges it out slightly for me is that Jurassic Park, I guess it's more of an all-rounder. That's all I've got to go on.
Yeah.
Into other genres. That's kind of it. That's a broader production, but it's a big, huge studio blockbuster as opposed to this independent horror. But the truth is, I adore The Thing. But Jurassic Park is Jurassic Park. I don't know what else to say.
Fair enough.
If I have to, I will. But yeah.
Tim, over to you next. Are you deciding it already before it even gets to me, or am I breaking the tie? What's going to happen? Oh, God.
I mean, a thing that I haven't even really considered, which Shane Drinian in the chat has mentioned, is that Jurassic Park has a legacy of some terrible sequels coming after it, whereas The Thing is like
Reservoir Dogs, Jurassic Park.
I would say The Thing got a very mediocre prequel, which we fixed.
I was going to say we have fixed the bad prequel to The Thing.
I would also
and also Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I would say that's interesting because Jack and I were kind of discussing this earlier on the Jurassic World Dominion coming out, me giving a very bad review. I can imagine that even if John Carpenter came back with the same cast, crew, whatever it happened to be, I bet he couldn't make a thing.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
In the same way that Spielberg literally couldn't do a good sequel, but nobody can. These two are literally in their own bracket of like, that's it. The difference is
we'd had a Lost World, The Thing 2, whatever the fuck that would be. It would probably be terrible as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's a very valid point.
Yeah. It's very, very difficult.
I'm wincing the entire time.
I think at the end of the day, there is only one of these films that I walk around my house singing the theme to, and that is Jurassic Park.
Bob. Mob.
It's academic, Jack, but where were you going to go? Oh, you think I don't have to worry about it? Fuck you.
Yeah, no, I would have picked Jurassic Park as well. Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to get into this dangerous territory, and I don't want to have this in my brain because that's not how I'm approaching this. But I've seen a couple of people in the chat say it already, if you had to watch one of these films right now, which one would you pick kind of thing? I disagree with that theory and mentality. That is not how my heart and my head is voting this time around. But if it did, it would be Jurassic Park. that is a film I can watch more easily. And I think you're totally right, Matt. It's a film that you can sit down and other people will join you. The broad appeal of Jurassic Park and the fact that basically anyone can enjoy that movie and enjoy it as a fucking masterpiece as well. Whereas a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't really get the thing, or it's not really. It's a bit too gory for me and stuff like that. I think,
which I want to contradict later. I'll probably say I don't care if people think.
Oh, sure, yeah. Like I said, this is not this is not factoring into my decision.
In these,
but I think that was like my process of I can imagine this is what other people will say. But me growing up, my childhood love, Jurassic Park was the first film I fell in love with. The Thing is something I've grown to love as an adult. So yeah, Jurassic Park has that special place in my heart for sure.
I think The Thing has two modes that it does very, very well. It has paranoid and it has bug fuck mayhem.
I don't know about you, Tim. I'm always aiming for bug fuck mayhem.
Yeah. Whereas I think Jurassic Park has a lot more things that it does. It hits a lot more tones. It has wonder. It has joy. It has, it has paranoia and tension. It has bugfuck mayhem in it. It covers more of the rainbow of human emotion.
Boy being electrocuted.
Exactly.
Inglourious Bastards versus Zodiac.
Indeed. 2009's Inglourious Bastards, which is an 89 on the Tomatometer from the critics and an 88 on the audience score. Going 2 years earlier from 2007, Zodiac, which is an 89 on the critics' Tomatometer and a 77 on the audience score. Very interesting. Yeah.
Alternate universe version of us is the version everyone expects because it's Pulp Fiction versus 7, and it's like,
which are both films in this is like the 2000s, and this is the 90s,
95 and 97, I think so. Yeah,
97.
Yeah,
95, yeah. So this is for those of you who haven't kept up, this is Fincher versus Tarantino, of course. Tricky one, but I think I have an idea. The Jurassic Park thing took up so much of my brain power over the last few weeks trying to decide that. I feel like I've kind of.
Everything's easy from now on.
Yeah,
not quite easy, but
blue. You go, blue. Great. There you go. I'll tell you what the decision is.
Yeah. Oh. Well, Tim, you're kicking us off. Do you want to have a chat about it?
Yeah, I mean, so Inglourious Basterds was one of the ones that the people I mentioned this to had a sticking point with. But I genuinely think that it is. Made the right call. Yeah, I think it is.
Movie. I stand by that shit, man.
Yeah, I think it is his most mature film. In a lot of ways,
still mature.
That also has Nazis being fucked up, which I'm always in favor of. And I think it has astonishing tension in it. The scene in the farmyard, the scene in the basement bar.
I'll tell you something, because this is infecting my mind, and it's such a minor point, but that's what we come to. When you come to these things, it's the Hattori Hanzo thing. Like, you end up comparing minutia because you don't actually, it becomes such a stylistic choice. Directing somebody and telling them how you want them to perform, how the character's thinking, answering all their questions, and getting inflection and delivery right so it sounds, looks, and feels correct. It's difficult. It's really difficult. have you ever tried doing that in another fucking language that isn't your own? Yeah. And I'm like, there's French, there's German, there's English, there's some Italian.
And Italian.
Yeah, exactly.
Plenty of
like,
Italian.
Yeah, and I'm like, I know you can have obviously other people on set to help out and script supervisors and language supervisors and things like that, but it's still like, that's an achievement. That's an accomplishment. It's really hard. But that's just an aside as a thing that creeps in my mind because Zodiac is still literally a masterpiece. So, fact.
Yeah, it's, and I think this kind of there's a sort of a tension between Tarantino's like slightly more out there kinetic style of directing and David Fincher's, which is like no unmotivated camera moves, like we're gonna do this like a documentary more than any of his other films. Yeah. My decision is toward Zodiac.
I thought yours would be. I know you are a big Zodiac fan.
I do love Zodiac.
Yeah. I feel like you were the one who may have clinched it last time, Tim. Where I'm pretty cool, and this isn't like a slight. I'm pretty sure I chose 7, possibly. I have to go back and check it. And then I think Tim might have gone Zodiac, and it ended because that feels like a Tim pick. Jack.
I am gonna split it for the first time by voting Inglourious Bastards. So, Matthew, we have 1 vote for Fincher, 1 vote for Tarantino, 1 vote
Great.
apiece. Stogden, what do you reckon?
Tension, they both have it. Visual effects, they both subtly have it. Production design, they both have it. Costume, period stuff, they both have it.
Yep.
Performances, they both have it. Launching careers, excelling careers, they both have it. Perfectionist sort of directors who like be a very overbearing presence, they both have it. So what's the deciding factor? What's the thing that tips it over the edge? Jesus Christ, I can't. Yeah, okay.
Great scores and soundtracks on both of them.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, of course.
Thankfully, one of them has 1 typeface and the other one has 7.
7.
Yep. Again, I've got to go language. I'm sorry, it's Inglourious Bastards. Having
Zodiac out in the first round.
French and German, and being able to direct people literally speaking entirely in German with the scripts you've written that's been translated and knowing what they're saying and doing, and getting a performance that goddamn good.
Damn,
it's a great film.
Damn,
gotta get a lot of hate from the Fincher boys and girls.
Mostly the Fincher boys.
Now, this is an interesting one because this is one I wasn't involved in. I was ill.
Oh, yeah, of course. Good Lord, what a weird combination this is.
Our alternate universe picks would have been Blade 2 versus I wasn't there. I think the other one was Hot Fuzz at the last minute. Was it Scott Pilgrim? I don't know because I wasn't in that. I didn't screenshot it.
I think it was Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah,
but
I think that was out earlier. So yeah, either way, it weren't this, and it weren't the other one. So yeah, moot point. But I think Blade 2 would have been Blade 2 would have been a harder one for this one. I think possibly.
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah.
In 2006, Guillermo del Toro directed and released Pan's Labyrinth, which has a 95% on the tomatometer from the critics and a 91% from the audience score. And a couple of years earlier, in 2004, Edgar Wright's kind of breakout movie in Shaun of the Dead, a 92% on the tomatometer from the critics and a 93% on the audience score. This is 2 of the highest rated films we've ever covered on both audience and critical scores.
That's fucking
battling it out. Isn't that mental? They both are 90 plus on both of those things.
And Zodiac is sitting there on 77. What the shit?
Yeah.
I
mean, I think think the thing that you can say for both of these is that they do what they set out to do extremely well.
Very much so.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. What this might be the most tonally different of the whole entire bracket, I think. I'm trying to think of what the other side looks like, but this is mad, this combination.
Like even more than Inception and Dogma.
Yeah, genuinely. Yeah,
very much so.
Do you like the idea of Pound of the Dead or Sean's Labyrinth from Dr. Gain? And from James here, if you showed someone the screen and asked them what is the theme of the bracket, you could melt their brain. Yeah, I'd love to know, but somebody who has never watched any of our live streams before, just coming in cold into that bracket and being like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. Why is the Pan's Labyrinth versus Shaun of the Dead? What happened?
Pulled out names in the hat.
Yeah. Exactly. It's back around to me, right?
It is, yeah.
Good Lord. Well, it's tough. This is Del Toro, which we did with M from Velvet Diorama. Edgar Wright, which we did with director and filmmaker Reese Lippman. I enjoyed both of those live streams for the record. Fantastic live streams. Even better when Matt wasn't there. I felt this is such a
one under me.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were pissed off that Shaun of the Dead won. This is one of those.
I mean, that's not that outrageous. If it was Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, or Scott Pilgrim, people would be happy or unhappy either way. I think that's a lot of people similar to these brackets. Yeah.
As long as it's not. This is the end, or one of the world's end. That's it.
World's end or Baby Driver.
We are fucking hell.
Anyway. Procrastinating.
I am. Yeah. I might be a controversial pick here. I'm going to go with my heart, and I'm going to go Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, fuck that. Pan's Labyrinth. Tim?
I mean, yeah, what I said earlier, I think, is absolutely my opinion. These both do what they're trying to do extremely well, but I think Pan's Labyrinth is trying to do more. It has better performances. It has some truly terrifying shit in it from both a human and supernatural kind of point of view.
Yep.
I think it's
Shaun of the Dead is having a lot of fun and is a lot of fun and means a lot to a lot of people. Pan's Labyrinth has layers that Shaun of the Dead could have had and alludes to. So that's why the pick is so clean cut for me at this point.
Yeah. So Pan.
That is one half of one bit done, and I feel like I've been through the ringer already. half the bracket done. We're less than 45 minutes in. We've done half of it. Mm-hmm. It's a new record, ladies and gentlemen.
Half of the first bit.
Yeah,
so
that's half.
No, I meant more that we got then we got to set on these other ones.
Half of the whole thing.
Yeah, like oh god. Right. So The Departed versus Apollo 13. Just for the alternate universe version, the Ron Howard film would have been Cinderella Man. I still enjoy that film. And the Scorsese film would have been somewhere on this list. There it is. Goodfellas.
Yeah. This was the other one that people couldn't get over of us choosing Departed over Goodfellas. Reese Lippman, guest on this live stream, was very angry about that.
We gave our reasons.
Yep.
I kind of still stand by it. By kind of, I mean I still stand by it.
Yeah. I like them a lot. Both. Yeah. Pretty equally, I'd say. So I wouldn't. It's one of those I wouldn't be offended either way, kind of thing. If that makes sense. But yeah, I just love The Departed.
What were the stats then, Jack?
Let's dive into the stats, shall we? Starting with The Departed in 2006, it has a 90% from the critics on the Tomatometer and a 94% from the audience. And then going all the way back to 1995 with Apollo 13, a highest so far, and I think it might be the highest ever, critical score on the Tomatometer of 96%, higher than Pan's Labyrinth, mad. And an audience score of 87%, which is noticeably lower. Matthew, you're kicking us off, so let's have a little chat and rack your brain, Mr. Stogden.
This is actually quite clean for me.
Me
bullshit.
Too. This is one of the ones that is the cleanest for me.
Okay. It comes down to one thing and one thing only.
Same decision, though. That's the question.
I don't think so. I bet we're going to go the opposite direction on this.
Which one has the poop monster in it?
Yeah, which one is closer to having a poop demon? Yeah. And judging by Jack Nicholson's face, it's The Departed. The Departed moves on.
We got
you think
Ed in space?
You think Ed Harris isn't squeezing one out there?
They are both constipation faces, to be fair.
Yeah. Just very different approaches.
Yeah,
I think John Scarrett's trying to tell us something with his images.
Is this actually like John has some serious bowel issues and he's just trying to communicate that every time?
I do. Okay. So again, both fantastic films, both thoroughly enjoyable, fantastic scores, great performances. Here's the thing. And literally the thing comes in. I'm like, dick. Thing goes right in.
The thing.
That would be the real bracket. Everything has already been assimilated by the thing. The thing somehow wins. You're like, what the fuck? Everything you pick is actually the thing. No.
You think Apollo 13 wins. It's like, no. It was the thing all along.
All along, yeah. Both are tense. Both are enjoyable. Very, very entertaining. One is a remake. And that shouldn't matter because Apollo 13 is based on real events. But I'm going Apollo 13, which surprises me.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I love The Departed. I think it's better than Infernal Affairs. I think it's genuinely, obviously we think Scorsese's best here. I think such amazing performances all round. It's such an intertwining and connected thing, but at the same time handles itself really well. But Apollo 13's clarity of vision is just so straightforward and so simple. And safe pair of hands, Ron Howard.
Clarity of vision from well-known visionary, safe pair of hands, Ron Howard.
Yeah, but it's so straightforward and it achieves it so well. And again, that look of tension on old Ed Harris there, it's tense and it's hard to watch and it's enjoyable and it pushes. It makes me feel kind of inspired in a weird way because the whole we don't go to the fucking moon anymore. We don't do lunar missions unless Musk or whatever. So yeah, Apollo 13 kind of clinches it for me. It's a very straightforward narrative. That's one of the reasons why I like Top Gun Maverick so much recently. Sometimes a straightforward narrative sometimes trumps a convoluted plot. Sometimes. There'll be a time if it goes through where it won't, but we'll see.
You'll regret saying that in about 10 minutes' time.
Again, sometimes it depends on the film. The part, it's dickhead treachery all over, and it's are you working for they're all, betraying each other. Yep. So that's great. But Apollo 13, everyone is focused on one thing, and it's that's my vote. Tim,
this is tricky. I love some space stuff. I love some competence porn, which is what a lot of space stuff ends up being. The Apollo. I've spoken about how much I love The Martian as well.
Oh, yes.
I love a film where there's no real bad guy beyond the situation that you're in, kind of thing.
Yes.
And I think Apollo 13 is a film that I go back to. I know Jack is not one for revisiting films. I enjoy revisiting films, and Apollo 13 is a very comfortable film to go back to, even with the tension and stuff involved. But then I think about how The Departed was the first Scorsese film I saw.
Ooh.
The shock in the cinema of Leonardo DiCaprio getting shot in the head.
Yeah.
I think about the score. I think about the performances. Just both of these films have an incredibly deep bench of actors.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Usually when you get into a film, you got like 4 or 5 like top names deep, and you're like, oh yeah, it's him. But like, even with the fact we have Ed Harris there, Tom Hanks, Bill Paxton, Kevin Bacon, Gary Sinise, Kathleen Quinlan, like incredible, amazing performances. And then obviously The Departed, you mentioned DiCaprio, Damon, Nicholson, fucking Wahlberg is good at it. Martin Sheen, Ray Winston, like, oh
Ray
my
Winston's
God.
so good in that film. Both very dude heavy, unfortunately.
True. Welcome to Hollywood, Tim.
Yeah.
It wound up being a biopic about a time when you weren't going to talk about that sort of thing, and wives were wives, and that's not actually true, as we know from things like Hidden Figures and stuff. But the other one is also it's crime life. It's that awful patriarchal driven bullshit. So yeah, we can't even fault the films on that because that's kind of just the setting. And but you can to a degree. But yeah.
I'm gonna go for The Departed, which means I'm gonna put it in Jack's lap.
With me,
who says he's got a very simple, straightforward decision.
It's got to be different.
I weren't telling a lie, Mr. Matum. I were not telling a lie. It's pretty clean cut for me. I, not definitively, but pretty clearly in my mind, prefer one of these films to the other. I love them both. I think they're both absolutely incredible. But I prefer The Departed, so The Departed goes through.
Fair play.
That's why it's a controversial win, because I love The Departed, and a lot of people say it shouldn't have won the Scorsese side of things. But fuck you.
Here it is. Get off that block. Fuck you. Yeah. This is a weird one. So the Coen Brothers was our first bracket, and it would have been "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" was the alternative.
I fucking love "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou."
No, that was a difficult choice for us. Park Chan-wook was Old Boy versus The Handmaiden.
I love Old Boy as well.
Yeah, I think I'm going to tell you, of those 4 films, goddamn, difficult round. I'm up last with this one, right?
Yeah,
that's a weird way of putting it. Yes.
Yeah,
I'll go to the stats first.
Oh, yes,
sorry, Tim.
Yeah. No, give us the stats.
I'll dive into The Handmaiden since it's on the top of the table there. From 2016, as you said, Matt, correctly earlier, Park Chan-wook's phenomenal masterpiece. 96% on the Tomatometer score from the critics. Up there with Apollo 13 as one of the highest films we've ever discussed on the show. Audience score ever so slightly lower at 91% for The Handmaiden. And then a bit of a swap around for that side of things for 1998's The Big Lebowski from the Coen brothers. 83 on the Tomatometer from the critics and a 93 from the audience, which I think about sums up The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
We have what I feel like Vincent Gain, the good doctor, has stolen Matt's suggestion here. The Handmaiden, easy, more scissoring. I'm not like pipping Matt's vote to the post here, but that's all I'm saying.
It's okay. Historically, and I've written this in my reviews and stuff, I hate sex scenes in films. I think sex scenes are pointless. I think they add so little. Even like, in the Terminator, you have to see it because it's just the conception of John Connor. And but why do they always have to be so goddamn awful? And it's because of decency laws and it just feels like a really crappy, music video sort of thing. Or you go full Bollywood and you don't show, and it's mostly about dancing. But The Handmaiden, because it goes so aggressive with it, and at the same time, when it's most subtle with the thimble and with the peach, it's like, this is the most erotic thing I've ever seen in my life. But most importantly, it's about deception and love. It's about The Big Lebowski's also got some sex scenes in there as well, but they're different.
It does.
It's got some inception
and conception. It's got conception as well.
Just rolling it back to a guaranteed conception.
Yeah. Vagina. Does that word scare you?
Johnson? But no, as I say, that's because it's very easy to bracket like, oh, The Handmaiden's like, bruh. It's like, yeah, but Lebowski is also like, again, it's such a weird one to categorize because
it literally has pornographers in it.
It does. What kind of
the film with literal pornographers is less pornographic than the other one.
Yeah, I wasn't here for the Park Chan-wook brackets, but I agree that The Handmaiden is his best film. Certainly of the ones that I've seen. I think there's a couple still haven't got around to seeing. But God, this is a difficult decision.
Yeah,
incredibly different films.
Yeah. Well, they're both kind of really weird, surreal crime films in that they're about family deception and conning wealthy husbands. And it's like, I guess, in different regards.
There's a bit of commonality, but yeah, it's
but not like fucking Jurassic Park thing. Like there's this. Even you are right, Tim. They're
both kind of period pieces. Slightly ambiguously for the Big Lebowski, but it was definitely
intended as such.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for the Big Lebowski.
Oh, Tim,
because it gives. The Handmaiden is incredibly well made. It's an incredible piece of filmmaking. But The Big Lebowski gives me so much joy every time I watch it. And I like the idea. I would like some comedy to get further in this bracket. It's a little underrepresented here.
Thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's like the idea of going to the Oscars. If you've got a comedy at the Oscars, you're probably not going to win because the drama is going to be like, but it's a drama. And you're like, I get that, Tim. I get that logic.
Yeah. And I think it genuinely does like inventive things with its filmmaking. I think it's got some stellar performances.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah. And tragedy in it. Like when I first watched it and Steve Buscemi dies, I was just like, but this is a comedy shocking. And now I'm sad. So I am going for the Big Lebowski.
This is the tough. I think they're both, again, I know I've said this a bunch of times, they're both masterpieces. They're both incredible examples of filmmaking in completely different ways. From all the subtlety and nuance of The Handmaiden to the fucking Viking bowling pin dream sequence.
Saddam Hussein.
See what condition my condition was in The Big Lebowski. I'm going to have to pick. There's only one of them that has Flea in it from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's going to be The Big Lebowski. The Big Lebowski is one of the reasons I love cinema. It's one of the reasons that I kind of got out of watching like kids' movies and stuff like that and really watched something that was weird and out there because, as I talked about in the Coen Brothers episode we did for the live stream, my parents are massive Coen Brothers fans, and were like, "You need to watch this." And Oh Brother We're Out Now, and they're like, The Big Lebowski is my dad's favorite film. Oh Brother We're Out There was my mum's favorite film. Pretty much,
yes.
Yeah. So the Coen Brothers are like so integral to my love of cinema, and we talk about this for like the switching on of the critical thinking and all that kind of stuff, and like analyzing it from a filmmaking perspective and thinking about performances and lighting and direction and all this kind of stuff, and not just being like, yay, shiny things and explosions, wee, but actually having that kind of deeper understanding of cinema. The Big Lebowski and the Coen Brothers in general as a wider kind of thing are directly responsible for that for me. So The Big Lebowski has a very, very special place in my heart. Matthew, I can only assume you would have picked The Handmaid because you can't stop wanking.
No. I'm not wanging right now.
I can't see your right hand, Matthew.
Don't worry about it.
I like that. That's a fake arm just there.
And here's my hand.
No, show you both hands. Look.
I would have gone The Handmaiden because it's literally pure cinema. I'm not begrudging that. I'm just saying that would be my pick. It is unfettered, untethered. unapologetic and unabashed cinema, and I'm like, But I exactly see where you guys are coming from. I'm not like, again, whenever any of these go through, I'm not like, oh, you're dead to me. It's like, no, these are all Sophie's choice kind of situations.
Absolute masterpieces, a lot of them. Yeah.
Goddamn dog. I should have got through.
Fantastic chat here from James. You see what happens, Park Chan-wook? You see what happens when you meet a stranger in the Alps? That is the
Market Lebowski chat.
You see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps, along with the enough is enough. I've had it with these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. Are my two favorite TV edits in the history of cinema. When you find a stranger in the Alps, it's like, that's still very offensive for some reason, but still family friendly, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
suitable.
Also,
not really.
Also, a great Phoebe Bridgers album.
Oh, really? Amazing.
Yeah, her first album is called A Stranger in the Alps.
Oh, amazing. I need to listen to more Phoebe Bridgers. Well, moving on to Alien versus Road to Perdition. This is the other one where the tone is very different.
Very.
Yeah.
The
very
alternate
different
pick here was The Martian versus 1917.
Interesting.
Imagine if The Martian versus Apollo 13. We've got the one place. Oh, no, what do we do?
Space porn versus space porn.
Speaking
of, penises in space.
Let's dive into Alien.
I gotta say, I much prefer this to the film it follows on from, Alien versus Predator.
God damn you, Tim.
We'll have Road to Predator be like the next Predator movie. Alien versus Perdition.
Yeah. The Perditions.
The Perditions sounds like a comedy about a bunch of people moving into a neighborhood and go, oh, the Perditions have moved in. It's like, who are the Perditions? It turns out it's like the Burbs. They're vampires.
Yeah. So let's dive into the winner of the Ridley Scott bracket from 1979. It is Alien with the highest score we've had so far on the tomatometer of 98% on these critics and 94 on the audience score. And then going over to the winner of the Sam Mendes bracket, we have Road to Perdition with 81% on the tomatometer from the critics and 86% on the audience score. So the critics and the audience pretty clearly prefer Alien here. But yeah, it's Ridley Scott versus Mr. Mendes. I think it's a very interesting, like I said, weird tonal combination, and never something I ever thought I would discuss in my life. It's Alien versus Road to Perdition. Road to Perdition, one of the great comic book movies. Never forget. Yeah. Hashtag never forget. Of course, just in case everybody goes, comic book movies aren't cinema. Meh. Yes, they are. Go and watch Persepolis. Go and watch Road to Perdition. You grumpy bastards.
History of Violence.
History of Violence. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. Exactly. Based on a graphic novel. This is an interesting one. The biggest difference in release as well from 2002 to 1979. 1979 being our earliest release in the brackets here as well. It's an interesting combination. Alien is obviously something I really, again, kind of grew up with in many ways. Really getting into The Thing and like kind of sci-fi horror kind of stuff that really kind of defined my early teens going forward into like, me doing a physics degree and getting into all the like nerdy spacey stuff and all that like sci-fi thing, and that kind of era really kind of influenced me going forward. And Road to Perdition is something I came to much later in life and really, really came to appreciate. A film I had like basically no expectations for. I was like, fucking gangsters and whatever. I don't know, like cool. I'd seen The Godfather. I'd seen Goodfellas at that point. So sure, yeah, I'll watch a gangster movie, whatever. Didn't really think about it, and then had a fucking whale of a time. And I absolutely love Road to Perdition. One of the we talked about it a lot, and when it won the bracket, how fucking good that ending is, and how immaculately paced the final like 5 minutes is, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
How incredible those moments are. You got fucking, again, talking of incredible casts, Paul Newman, Stanley Tucci, Daniel Craig, Tom Hanks, Jennifer Jason Leigh, like incredible performances across the board in Road to Perdition. And again, an Alien, like launching Sigourney Weaver's career. Got my very distant relative, John Hurt, in there. I bring it up every time. Ian Holm as well. And yeah, I think Alien being one of the most influential sci-fi movies of all time. And the
music in both is amazing.
Absolutely.
Really iconic scores from both of them for different reasons. Do you first think, Jack?
It is. And it's probably what everyone thinks I'm going to do, so I'm going to do it. I'm going with Alien. Matthew, how about you?
So, Road to Perdition. I can't pick it.
Oh,
I want to pick it. I'm desperate to pick it, but I can't pick it. Not in this bracket.
Because it's a bloody comic book movie, right, Matthew?
I don't think it doesn't count as a film. No, Alien is my favorite Alien film. I think it's fantastic. Jerry Goldsmith's score is amazing. Everyone's performance is great. Scott's direction is amazing. The production design,
Jerry Goldsmith.
Damn right. Road to Perdition again. It's the whole like that's cinema. It's the whole. It is the Conrad's DP work of the director photography. Sorry, the cinematography is
the Dr. Pepper work is fantastic.
Yeah, it's what's the worst that could happen? The costume design stuff, the pacing, the sound design, the production design when it comes to like finding these real locations that sort of feel like they've been plucked at the past, and all the the costumes, the hair and makeup, and Tom Hanks coming as close as he's really ever come to playing a villain and doing it in a way that's semi-sympathetic, but also just this really distant dad sort of thing. He's been with Spielberg playing like distant dads, and he's never hit it as hard as he had with Mendes. And I want to so badly pick it, but the other option is Alien. What can I do? So
fucking maybe Jude Law's best performance as well, Road to Perdition.
Yeah.
He's terrifying in that film.
He's incredible. Yeah.
Sure makes you sweat. Yeah, great. Yeah, and some real Tom Hanks sweat. Just like we'll get some sweat, and it's like then he just sweats. You're like, what do you mean? You have like a pump in his head or something? Like, no, he just got really hot and sweated. Like just what? Perfect trickle down. It shouldn't work. It's so good and it's so astonishing. It has a great line. You're a big baby who doesn't know his thumb from his dick. And I'm like, God, that's great fucking line. But blue collar workers in space going on, like getting fucked by a corporation, screwed over by an infinite terror. I've got to go Alien. I can't not, I'm afraid. And that breaks me a little bit. But
fair.
Timothy
Matum.
I mean, if it makes it any easier, Matt, I would have gone Alien as well. So
I think everyone would go Alien.
It's
the weight off your shoulders.
It's fantastic. Road to Perdition is spectacular, but it doesn't change.
Cinema?
Alien still feels like it's from the future, and it's from 1979.
Yeah,
that's true.
Fair.
It's also timeless in the sense that the Road Perdition, yes, okay, well, it speaks to certain things in terms of personality traits and the way we interact with certain things. It feels a film of the past, and it's supposed to be. Aliens still, as of that blue collar worker thing, is like people are still getting fucked over in space and everywhere else in the work. Yeah. It's like we have to go into this. Like, why? We gonna get paid? Oh fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a relatability that makes it a timelessness, unfortunately.
A couple of comments here from the chat. Pandemonium. Alien was the right choice, but rest in peace, my sweet prince. Fair. Cinematography and Road to Perdition is also just spectacular. Agreed. Yeah. A scene where an android uses a magazine as an attempted murder whipping is terrifying itself, even without an alien.
That's
the thing about Alien as well. There are moments where it's tense even without the fucking xenomorphs running around. Interesting question here from the good doctor. Tom Hanks and DiCaprio are the only actors who turn up more than once in this bracket, right? I was like, there's a lot of people in some of these films.
Yeah,
like,
I think in terms of kind of main lead
Yeah.
cast, I think.
Might be some like character actors who double up a couple of times.
Yeah.
In the background. A lot of these ones are around similar sort of eras, so possibly. Oh yeah. Very interesting, this lineup, because at a glance you think like, oh well,
it's the Oil Boys.
Not similar at all. And then even just looking at that screenshot, it's like, huh, that's two very angry men covered in oil.
Two monsters.
It's spice or oil. It's the battle of families and legacies and resources, capitalism, money. Weirdly synergistic there. Would never imagine in a million years, but I was like, the more I think about this, the more Baron Harkonnen would kind of fit into There Will Be Blood.
Yeah, if you tell me, like, you know, what's the Harkonnen line? How's it go back? Well, the first Harkonnen was called Plainview, and you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. They called me Plainview Harkonnen. Abandon my child! My Dune! My Dune! Beautiful fade. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting chat here from Dr. Kane here as well. This is the most difficult one. I think this is very, very difficult. I enjoy Dune more and admire There Will Be Blood more. I think it's a very interesting statement. I find this very similar to the Road to Perdition versus Alien kind of thing. Obviously, Alien and Dune being the kind of opposite ends of cinematic sci-fi and stuff, are very modern and the early influential stuff. But the fact that we have this kind of pinnacle of sci-fi, and then we have this cinema about human struggles and period pieces and incredible, spectacular performances against like definitive genre movie making to describe it very broadly and derivatively, ignoring the fact that, you know, I fucking love genre movies. That's why I'm here, basically. But it's weirdly comparable, and I find that very interesting. We've had these kind of like Alien, Road to Perdition, There Will Be Blood, and Dune kind of lining up against each other. If they would had There Will Be Blood and Road to Perdition versus and then Alien versus Dune, that's such a different bracket, and I think that's very, very interesting.
Yeah,
what were the alternatives, Matthew, for these
good
ones?
question. I haven't put that. My apologies. Yes. So the alternatives here, obviously this being Villeneuve and
old Thomas Anderson.
Old Thomas Anderson. Villeneuve's alternate choice was Arrival.
Yes.
Because we all love the shit out.
Which I believe if you said, Tim, would be your pick for the Villeneuve.
Yes.
That was correct, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Anderson was between There Will Be Blood and The Master. And that was close.
Oh, yeah.
So it would be, so yeah.
Yeah, this is our most recent one. This is Paul Thomas Anderson when we had journalist from Middle East Esquire, William Mullally. We talked about the career and legacy of the one Paul Thomas Anderson. And then we also had Gadget from Modern Escapism talking about Denis Villeneuve as well. As you said, Matt, some pretty close ones at the end there for the final decisions for each of these.
Yeah.
I'll start off with There Will Be Blood since it's on top. We'll go to 2007, a 91 on the critical score on the tomatometer and an 86 on the audience score. And then coming over to what we now know as Dune Part 1, because we'll be getting a Part 2, came out last year in 2021, 83 on the critic score and 90 on the audience score. So, yeah, critically, There Will Be Blood has it. Audience, Dune has it. According to Rotten Tomatoes, which is an incredibly flawed system. Hideously flawed. Hideously, horrendously flawed. Yeah. Interesting, tough.
I think it's me first on this one, isn't it?
Yes.
Who made that? Who made the decision of Alien and...
No, because I was torn on the Alien. I came second, so it's me first.
It's you first. There we go.
Ah, there you go.
Shit. Shit. Okay. Okay. I'm running this second here. I know. I know.
I know.
I
know.
We've had our first proper map breakdown.
This
They're going to come more and more frequently.
Yeah. Okay. Both are adaptations of books that are.
Here's the thing.
Supposed to be unfilmable. So okay. So the thing is, fucking dude.
Whoa! Didn't even explain yourself.
Shut up, leave me alone. Yes, no, the reason is because I
picked one slimy oily boy over another slimy oily boy.
Yeah, I can hear one thing in the back of my head saying, Matt, this is June Part 1. And again, okay, to quote a friend of mine who runs a video game cafe in Norwich, he adores...
That's John from One Life Left,
John, yeah.
by the way. Folks.
He adores Final Fantasy VII. It's his favorite game. He's to find him and he loves the shit out of it. And then Final Fantasy VII Remake came out and he absolutely loved it, as I did too. Yeah. Magnificent game. Magnificent.
You did a Twitch stream with them, in fact, the guys from One Life Left to discuss it.
That is correct. That is correct.
Yeah.
And he said, and it was a very honest bit of insight, but I just noticed that Ashens has wandered in.
Carry on. I'll highlight Ashens in a moment.
He noted that for him personally, there is no game in the history of his existence that he will look forward to more. And that is because Final Fantasy VII Remake is such a great version of the game, and the second part is coming, and there's no moment like this that he will ever feel, in theory. It's unlikely in his lifetime they'll remake it again, that sort of thing. And so, weirdly enough, I adore There Will Be Blood. I think it's fantastic. I think it's again pure cinema, and Paul Thomas Anderson is a genius, and it's a masterwork that will be studied for years to come. Dune is big.
and if in doubt, just pick the bigger, whichever film goes bigger. Yeah,
Dune is big.
Michael Bay wins,
and impossible. And I am so desperate to go back to that world and just swim around in it. And the fact that I'm getting more, I'm like,
it's a desert, Matthew. No swimming allowed.
Swimming in the version later in the other books when there's water.
Oh yeah, the weird paradise world. Yeah.
No. And for that reason, it's like it's done the impossible already. And again, there's only one film at this point I'm looking forward to with absolute eager anticipation, and it's Dune Part 2. And the fact that this thing does the first set apart, and it's like, yes, okay, it couldn't be like it's a complete standalone, but that's why I went down this road in general. And there it is. That's my weird logic.
Well, if we're struggling to make decisions, we have the one and only former Sequelizer himself, Dr. Ashens, arriving to say, if it comes down to the wire, go to the age-old yardstick. Which film has a better car chase?
We've done Poop Demon, Stuart. It's Poop Demons, not car.
So we've got Mark on one side deciding via Poop Demon, Ashens deciding via car chases. Excellent question, Stuart. Excellent question. And welcome to the chat. Hello. Nice to see you. Tim, how about you? Oily boy versus oily boy. There will be blood.
Straight in there.
No.
Dune is half a film.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Interestingly, that's exactly what Dr. Gain says here.
Yeah.
I can cop out by saying Dune is only half the story, and I facetiously describe There Will Be Blood as the greatest film of the 21st century. Therefore, There Will Be Blood. Excellent. Yep. Excellent point.
I think Dune is great. It's beautiful. And it's a stunning adaptation.
But it's incomplete for now.
But it's incomplete. And the trouble is that Dune has been so replicated through other stuff, the book, that its fingerprints are all its fingerprints are all throughout science fiction cinema.
Yeah.
And so even though it's
science fiction, everything pretty much.
Exactly. So even though it is a kind of a masterwork of early science fiction, I say early 60s, there are elements of it that feel a little bit well trod because we've seen them replicated in other stuff. Whereas I can remember the first time I saw There Will Be Blood, I just felt like Daniel Plainview was such a uniquely horrible person, and it felt like it felt to me such a unique film that was going to be like, this is the guy who would be the villain, and he is the villain, but he's also the protagonist.
Yep.
And we're not going to shift our eyes from that, and we're going to show you the ways, and even make you at a certain point empathize with him, and yet he will remain an irredeemable bastard man.
Fair.
So yeah, and that fucking opening with the
In
fire
silence.
and
Yeah.
it incredible. So There Will Be Blood from me.
Bold from both of you,
Jacques.
leaving me as the decider.
Poop
You
demons and car chases.
You oily bastards.
Oh, shit.
Very, very similarly to, as again, like I said, Alien and Road to Perdition, that discussion there. Dune, the book, is such a formative sci-fi thing for me as a kid, and There Will Be Blood is something I experienced as an adult and went, this is cinema, this is it, this is the one, this is a fucking must. This is what acting looks like, that's what cinematography looks like. This is that fucking shit you've been watching for the last 20 years. This is the real stuff right here. This is the black tar heroin of filmmaking. This is the good stuff I need in my veins.
There's some good performances in Dune, but there's nothing that equals Day-Lewis or Dano, I would say. I think they are both.
Yeah, Paul Dano is
astonishing.
Just incredible and so sad. Poor Paul Dano. For basically his entire career. I agree.
Fine, he's got riddles to do now. He's
well, ish. He's alive. He's in prison. Spoilers for the Batman. Daniel Day-Lewis's performance as Daniel Plainview, I think, is an all-time great performance. Like it's up there in, like, when I think of the single best acting performances I've ever seen in my life on the big screen. It's like top 10. The fact that he can, like you said, channel this horrible fucking bastard that is just so nuanced and interesting. And just so so human, which is,
you can't look away from him.
Worst.
He's transfixing.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other side of it, I think Dune, as you said, Matt, has done the impossible thing and has made not necessarily the most accessible, but an accessible version of a incredibly difficult to create. The classic Alan Moore thing he used to say about Watchmen, and I would say he probably should still say about Watchmen after Zack Snyder, he did to it. The unfilmable, like, you can't do this. This is never going to work on the big screen. As much as I liked Lynch's version of it back in the day, it's a big fucking mess and makes absolutely no sense most of the time. And what Villeneuve has done, and I, again, kind of talking about Villeneuve, he is, I think, the best director. The director I'm most excited about, as you said earlier, Matt, like, there's a film I'm most excited for. Whatever it is, it's Villeneuve's next movie. It just happens to be Dune Part 2, which also ties into my interest there. So it's like, and if you had to pick someone to do, if like you took like 3 or 4 years ago and I was like, okay, Jack, you got to pick a current director to do Dune, I'd be like, fucking Denis Villeneuve. I'm like, okay, cool. And he fucking did it. And it's brilliant. God, this is a hard choice.
We haven't picked it up.
I know. Yeah, I haven't even said anything yet.
To be fair, it's on you, so it's all right.
It's entirely on me. I am going to pick There Will Be Blood because, and this is partly what Tim said, but I'm going to basically expand upon what Tim said. Don't get me wrong, Dune is my favorite film of last year, one of my favorite films of the last few years. all the amazing things I can say about Dune. I fucking love Dune. One of my favorite books. I have a special edition thing. All that kind of stuff. However, as much as I trust Denis Villeneuve, as much as I trust this entire cast, as much as I trust all the production, all the cinematography, and all that kind of stuff, it could still go wrong in part 2 because part 2 of Dune is fucking mental.
Yeah,
there's talking toddlers and shout beams and a bunch of fucking nonsense that could.
Yeah.
Like, granted, like I said, the only person in the world I would probably trust to get this right is Denis Villeneuve and his team.
Yeah.
But fuck me, the second half of the book Dune is, fucking weird, really fucking weird, and not in a like, oh yeah, I can see how they can do that. In a, how the fuck are they going to do that on the big screen and make it not incomprehensible and stuff? So yeah.
I get that. That's sound logic. That's sound logic entirely. As I said, for that, the whole thing, all of it works.
Yeah, There Will Be Blood, I think, for me, is one of those cinema-defining performances and combinations. Like you said, I keep talking about Day-Lewis, but you're totally right, Tim. Paul Dano deserves so much credit there as well for his tortured, unfortunate character and his performance there, and just how fucking brilliant he is. So, yeah.
Should we look at how it looks at the minute?
We've got a few people saying they haven't seen There Will Be Blood in the chat, by the way. Eskill saying, what I'm getting from this is I should probably watch There Will Be Blood. Yes, you should. Yeah. If you need, settle the fuck in. Like, don't just be like, oh, it's a Sunday afternoon. Let's just chill and watch There Will Be Blood. Like, you need if you drink alcohol, maybe get a whiskey, and settle yourself in. Stuart Baker also like, I've never seen There Will Be Blood, and I have no idea why. Get on it. That's Stig from Modern Escapism, by the way. Hey, Stig.
Yep.
So yeah, very interesting there from our choices, and interesting that a few people. I think it's one of those films where if this is a what would you want to watch right now? Dune every day of the week, 100%. It's long as fuck, but it's way easy to watch than fucking There Will Be Blood.
Yeah. But both Dune and There Will Be Blood make me go, the species is fucked. But There Will Be Blood is more like, the real us we live as. Yeah. Okay, let's
so we're in our top 8.
Let's get into the top 8 because this is going to get bad. Inception versus Jurassic Park, Inglourious Basterds versus Pan's Labyrinth, The Departed versus The Big Lebowski, Alien versus There Will Be Blood. This doesn't get easier. This gets harder.
Yeah. We're an hour and a half in, gents, and we've got some tough decisions coming ahead. So yeah, I've done all the stats. We know Christopher Nolan's Inception from 2010 versus, of course, Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park from 1993. I've already recapped the stats. Go back and watch that.
Tim, you first, I think.
Yep.
Again, some weirdly comparable stuff that
lots of teeth. Weird.
Lots of teeth. Both using way more physical special effects than you would think, practical effects, and using CGI to augment stuff and to get it, just perfect. Very different in tone, though. I think I'm annoyed that I've never seen Jurassic Park in the cinema, and I really wish I had. And
so
maybe
30th anniversary next year, mate. There'll be something out.
Yeah, hopefully there will be a nice, a remaster or whatever. Because I can remember, I can remember watching Inception and just being blown away by the visuals, and the score, like being in that cinema, getting that sound just blasting at you was astonishing. But I don't think we have Inception without Jurassic Park. As different as they are, I think that Spielberg paved the way for a certain kind of blockbuster. And at the end of the day,
all the Cameron and Lucas boys going.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Jurassic Park is a more human film. even though half the cast are dinosaurs. And so I'm going to go for Jurassic Park.
Bam, Tim, straight in there. And to the surprise of absolutely nobody, I'm right there with you. I'm picking Jurassic Park as well. This is maybe the easiest one of the entire bracket for me. Matthew?
Matt, what would you...
I would have said that it's actually weird enough. Tim is actually correct. Sorry, that's very insulting. Weird enough.
Tim is right.
Tim,
for once, Tim's not talking absolutely.
The little fucking goblin. No. No, Tim's right. These two films, and just as a strange aside for a moment here, I've seen Seven Samurai in the cinema, and I love that film. I've seen it a million times, but seeing it in the cinema changed my perspective on it. Sometimes when you see a film in the old 35mm reel, it's a long movie, and the fact that I didn't realize Tim hadn't seen Jurassic Park in the cinema, that makes me sad, because Inception in the cinema and Jurassic Park in the cinema are both comparable to, oh my god, this is an immersive, intense, crazy experience.
They're films that deserve to be seen on the big screen, right?
Very much so. Pacing wise and experience and that sort of stuff, Jurassic Park holds up better. It would have been my pick as well. So I think that's a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Woof. Right, let's go down to slowly. Inglourious Bastards versus Pan's Labyrinth.
Fucking fascists everywhere.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nazis
the battles
and
of the Nazis, yeah. Fucking hell. Fascists all over the place. It's me first, isn't it?
It was you first.
Yeah.
It's always a joke. So yes, it's a joke. Yeah.
That wasn't a sentence, Matthew, but I'll take it as me first.
I've been broken by this bracket so much already that I can't. All right, just if I'm getting words out now is a fucking accomplishment.
Fair. Yeah, I think these are both incredible cinema that deal with fascists in very different ways, as we know, but in
bullets and bottles.
Important ways, yeah. Like I talked about this on the live stream when we had talking about Pan's Labyrinth in more detail, and I went into Pan's Labyrinth assuming it was like Bridge to Terabithia. It was this kid's like magical wonderland, and there's this little French girl or whatever. I had no idea, I had no clue. It was like some European thing, and she'll go off to some magical world with a fairy or whatever. And I think Pan means fawn or something, and then he'll go off and have a lovely little goat man adventures. It's like fucking, I don't know, like Narnia or something, whatever. And then a dude's face gets caved in with the butt of a gun, and I was like, oh no, that's a thing that, fuck me, okay, right, this is not the film I thought it was. And I can't remember
15.
yeah, I can't remember having another experience like that in the cinema of just such a visceral, I've completely mistaken this movie for something else. Like, usually I do my research and go in, but like I said, if I can, I try to go in blind. And this was well before I was aware of Del Toro as a filmmaker in the wider sense thing. I'd seen Blade 2, but would never in a million years have made the connection because I was just not like in that headspace. And then Inglourious Basterds, I think, is, and I stand by this, it's Tarantino's best movie by a country mile for me. It's his most comprehensive. It's the least kind of masturbatory and bullshitty. A lot of the problems I have with a lot of his other stuff, I think, are avoided in this because there's a lot of nuance to the characters. There's incredible performances, as there often are in Tarantino movies. I think it's some of Fassbender's best work, and that's saying something because Fassbender's fantastic. Yeah, it's a tough decision, but I think one is a masterpiece and one is really fucking good. So it's Pan's Labyrinth for me. Matthew, how about you?
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Tim?
Yeah, academic at this point, but I would also have made the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I think at the end of the day, Inglourious Bastards, as great as it is to have that fantasy of the revenge fantasy against the Nazis, essentially, in various forms, whether it's the burning down the theatre that Shoshana does, or carving up Christoph Waltz's forehead at the end. I think it's great to have that as a thing to hold up and to experience. Pan's Labyrinth is about the people who get chewed up by fascism. And
it's just two bit a different way,
yeah.
The innocence of it,
Yeah, and Inglourious Bastards doesn't really ever consider those people. I think it almost has a view of, well, if you can't be bothered to, which again is a worthwhile message of, if you can't be bothered to kill some Nazis, then what are you doing? But equally,
that's been fairly true over the last few years as well. The whole punch a Nazi movement.
Yeah, I think Pan's Labyrinth has both of those viewpoints. It has, you should stand up against this stuff, but you should also, there are people who can't stand up against it and who are going to suffer under it, and there is just enormous tragedy in that. So I think, Pan's Labyrinth.
I'm gonna say something as well. To me, and this is gonna come off as a slight, it's not, but it is. No matter what got through, whether it was Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction or Django or Inglourious Basterds or whatever about the top four, Pan's Labyrinth would have beaten all of them for me.
Oh yeah,
because
I agree.
Weirdly, of the escapism is somehow worse than the reality. It's because then your mind is so warped by the reality. There's so much going on there. Both are beautifully crafted in their own different ways. But yeah. Academic at this
also,
point.
Pan's Labyrinth is closer to having a poop monster in it.
That's
very true.
And it has a car chase.
Very true. Interestingly, when I said, "Oh yeah, Inglourious Basterds is Tarantino's best movie," Xenos replies with, "We know it's his best film, Jack. That's how we got here. You established this." Thanks, Xenos. And then every other comment is like, "Oh yeah, I don't like Inglourious Basterds being here. Yeah, I prefer other Tarantino movies to Inglourious Basterds." So Xenos, I do have to say that because people get pissed off that Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs aren't there. So no. How about that? Yeah. On to The Departed versus The Big Lebowski.
Wow.
What a sentence.
Oh, it's me first, isn't it?
It is you, Mr. Stogden, yes.
Right. I'll
stall for you and reply back to
Xenos. Riveting conversation.
It was your bracket. I'm not the sole decision maker here, Xenos. This is not how this works. You know how this works. Stop arguing back. I'm in control.
We've done 5 years. Now we're just going to get aggro and diva-ish in all our demands.
Well, if you listen to the latest episode, for those of you, like I said, out now for patrons, and we'll be out on Tuesday when we talk about Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. I spend a significant amount of time telling the executive producer who picked that movie, One Josh Miles, to fuck off. So, yeah.
Remember, we will tolerate backchat and ball ache, and then I will fucking fight you.
It's the right to free speech. You can say whatever you want, but you're not free from consequences. That's not how free speech works.
And that's us too. That's why we're getting you guys want this forum, so you can actually say, no, I wouldn't have had that. That's great. Because that's why I mentioned the alternative picks, because it's like, this in an alternate universe, we're debating those right now. Good stalling for me to have.
I'm sensing a lot of stalling here.
It's that alternate universe we had at the end of the MCU trilogy, where it was me, Alec, and Stuart doing Sequelisers, and you guys have left to make feature films and have babies and stuff.
Yeah, with each other.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah.
Tim and I have babies.
And that's what Stuart and Alec did, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably,
Ashens, if you're still in the chat,
I'll send you my fanfic.
Oh, there's got to be some Plowshans / fic, some slashans out there, if you will. Anyway, Mr. Mr. Stolden.
Oh no, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those not controversies. This is a rare moment where I picked Apollo 13 and The Handmaiden. So by definition, I'm like, I shouldn't even be here.
You're the contrarian.
I feel like I've got to go The Departed. Is it the Irishness?
Yes, almost certainly.
Yeah,
for the
Departed for me.
record, the chat seemed to be agreeing with you. The Departed from Tim A.
Really?
The Departed from Dr. Gain. The Departed from Eskil, less quotable, but still absolutely wins. And then on the other side of things, Pandemonium saying, I just can't not pick Lebowski. And then Stig saying, The Departed. I came to this late and surprised it got the nod over Goodfellas. Don't start, Stig. We know. But yeah, people in general are agreeing with you with The Departed there. But the real question is, does Timothy Matum agree with you, Matthew Stockton? That is the question. Tim
just plans to freeze.
I think these are interesting ones because they're both like, as much as they are about stuff and
both of these films are about things.
As they have
doing things.
This is how we've got now. We've scrambled our brains so much. We're they got people stories. Fuck.
It's the height of cinema. Both films have stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. They both have themes and interesting character motivation. But I think at the end of the day, they are both quite pure in that they just want to entertain the people watching them.
I get that.
They're not necessarily reaching for a lot more. Like, The Departed is this incredibly polished crime thriller that's like, we're going to show you both sides of the equation, and you're going to have a fucking great time. It's going to be incredibly quotable, and you're going to see Jack Nicholson give, like, one of his greatest performances, especially of the last, 10, 15 years, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, Martin Scorsese just wants you to leave the cinema going like, that was a fucking good time. And I think the Big Lebowski is the same. I think the Coen brothers are like, we're just going to make this really fucking funny film that's going to take you on this weird journey. And it's not as deep as some of their other films, and it's not trying to say as much, but
it might be their out-and-out funniest, I think.
Exactly.
And the most quotable.
And for that reason, I'm going to go The Big Lebowski.
Oh, Tim.
Kind of figured you would, Tim. I kind of figured you would.
Big bollocks on old Tim Matum over there. A few more from the chat here while I stall and decide. The Big Lebowski for sure from Seth Sliger. The Departed is a great film, but it absolutely drains me of joy. Yeah, when you see that last... No. Fair. And what I've always said about The Departed, Eskil agreeing with me here, lest we forget, The Departed has Marky Mark's possibly only good performance. I fucking hate Mark Wahlberg, but he's brilliant in The Departed and is a big reason why I fucking love The Departed. And that pains me every time I say it. Pandemonium, very happy you picked Lebowski.
I gotta do me.
I wait for the inevitable bit where, as always, things where we have, a disconnect from parasocial with the audience and stuff. It's like, oh yes, you get me. Next couple of rounds are done. No, are you? You were meant to be my boy.
You were the chosen one. You were meant to save Martin Scorsese, not destroy him.
I hate you.
In my opinion, the Coen brothers are evil.
You truly are lost. Yeah. But yes, what's your what's your mood, Jack?
My mood is one mood and one mood only. And it's time to go bowling. I'm picking The Big Lebowski. Like I said, it is...
Fuck it, dude. Let's go bowling.
Fuck it, dude. Let's go bowling. It's one of the definitive films of my entire life. So there are a couple of them on this list, unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Fucking hell. Alien versus There Will Be Blood. And Tim, you're up first. Yeah. And how fickle the listeners are and the viewers are. Sorry, because we're on YouTube. Anyway, Jack, I knew you were my friend.
Brilliant. Well done.
Notice there's no Matt in there. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't need to be people's favorite. I'm happy to be the fucking grumpy one who gets shit done.
That sums you up. The three of us, Matthew, absolutely. Tim's everyone's favorite. You're the grumpy one who gets stuff done, and I'm also here.
I make the hard decisions people don't want me to, and they don't understand them, but they will appreciate them later in life.
And I do the taxes for the company.
That is accurate. Jack, you're the affable.
Incorrectly, so they refunded us. I was like,
you also remember everybody's name, Jack. Tim and I are probably less good with names.
That's true. I do know. I could probably list like our entire Patreon list off the top of my head, give or take. That'll be the next live stream. Once we finish all of this stuff, it's me just remembering people's names.
Yeah, I sometimes forget fucking Tim and Jack's names.
Jack is the foundation and the glue.
I'll take that. I'm the glue.
Yeah. Tim is the paint. I'm the brick. Jack's the mortar. Boom.
Sure. Anyway.
That helped.
Alien versus There Will Be Blood. Two slimy little bastards.
Two slimy boys.
Two horrible, slimy, heart-crushing, stomach-churning bastards on this screenshot right here.
This is a real challenge for me because this is a film. One of my favorite filmmakers in Paul Thomas Anderson, and one of those films that just, like, when I first saw it, I could feel myself being knocked into a slightly different path of life. You know, I was like, oh, there was the time before I'd seen Alien, and there is the time after I've seen Alien.
100%. To have a real gross crossover here from Dr. Kane. I drink the shake made from milky stuff inside ash. I drink it up. Gross, real gross.
Careful. We don't want to make people throw up twice in one day.
Sorry. Yes. Yeah.
I could drink a milk right now.
You can always drink milk. You'd love a android just following you around.
Just an android put a straw in the side of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Fresh. Box
Gross.
fresh.
Gross.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Tim's having a
moment.
I
have a question from the chat if you need to store more.
God, it's so hard. Because great scores, great production design for both, great performances. Both about
horrible villains, iconic villains.
Horrible, iconic villains. Both about the corrosive nature of greed.
And capitalism and companies.
Exactly.
People forget Alien is all about the corporation and capitalism and stuff. Yeah. It fucking is, by the way, just in case anyone did forget.
Yeah, drilling. You're drilling for oil and drilling through people's chests.
Yeah. It's oil and egg blood. Goddamn eggs and the acidic blood.
They both are amazing in total, and they also have these amazing scenes in them that you can pick out and go like, just watch this as a masterclass in like tension and drama. And this is a tricky one.
To give you a couple more seconds, we do have a question here from Xenos.
Okay.
No one else noticed how weird it feels calling Daniel Day-Lewis anything but his full name? And I have an answer to this. It doesn't feel like you can drop any of the parts. It is hyphenated, Xenos. Much like Jack Chambers Ward, that is now my name. I'm no longer Jack Chambers. I'm Jack Chambers Ward because I got married and stuff. He is Daniel Day-Lewis is his surname. Day is not his middle name. His middle name is...
I like to call him Danny DL.
I think...
Big old DDL. He's Daniel Michael Blake Day-Lewis, son of poet Cecil Day-Lewis. Day-Lewis is his surname. So, that's why you can't separate him.
Bryce Dallas Howard. Dallas is her middle name, and I can't imagine Bryce Howard. That means nothing.
Bryce Howard. Yeah, that's weird as well. Yeah.
So, by the way, Zonos is correct. There are times when you brand someone as a thing or introduce someone as a thing, it's very hard not to hear that name.
And like Bryce Dallas Howard, you don't say Ron William Howard, her dad. Like nobody has said that. Or like J.R.R. Tolkien. Like it's James something Robert
Roderick Ronald Redrick
Richard
Ronald
Reagan Railroad. It's John Ronald Ruel or something. Royal.
Yeah.
It's Reuel. It's a weird name.
Sure.
But like, yeah, people do have those kind of pseudonyms or full names that they just like Samuel L. Jackson. I find it weird every time I see an interview with Quentin Tarantino and he says, "Yeah, Sam Jackson." I'm like, Sam Jackson? He's not a Sam. He's Samuel L. Jackson. That's
it's also
weird.
frustrating because not like a glottal stop, but something similar where Samuel, and then you have to leave a pause in there because if you say Samuel L. Jackson, it's like, did you say Samuel Jackson? No, it's Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, you're repeating yourselves.
Nobody says Sam Leroy Jackson. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Ignoring the fact that he's nearly the name of that meme. Leroy Jackson.
But then equally, we got Tim Maton. And Tim Maton was like, it's like a less important. Tim Maton, Timothy Maton. But anyway.
Whenever Americans see my name, they always hit the wrong part of it.
Maytom?
Maytom. No,
Weird.
that sounds wrong.
Yeah, Stogdon. I'm like,
Stogdon. Weird.
No, there's an apostrophe at the end. Is there? Well, no, but it's implied. Stogdon.
People don't tend to get Chambers wrong, but I guess people will start doing that with me with Chambers Ward hyphenated.
Chambers Ward?
When was that person?
I don't know.
That was the waiter in The Simpsons who can't say chowder right.
It's chowder. Chowder. And excellent chat here. Before we get your decision, Tim, from Pandemonium, it's not a well-known fact. He keeps his hyphen on the DL. Day Lewis, Matthew.
It's not even a pun, Matthew. It's just wordplay.
It's just wordplay, and it's fine. That wordplay is quite clever. It's just clever wordplay.
Clever words.
That's very.
It's clever wordplay. Tim, what's your vote?
That's the kind of upstanding gentleman that would pick Big Lebowski over The Departed.
Exactly.
My pick is Alien.
Damn, straight in there.
Yeah, well, I wasn't straight in there. We were here for a while, but
I know that's the joke.
Here's the grace, yeah.
I also pick Alien. Matthew, academic at this point. What was your choice?
It was going to be Alien.
Oof.
It was always going to be Alien.
Oof.
That was a little easier than I thought it was going to be. I don't say easy. It was very really.
Whoa. That took us like 10 minutes for that pick alone.
No, for me personally,
a whole tangent about people's fucking names and stuff.
That felt a bit clean cut.
Okay.
This could be different.
So
Jurassic Park versus Pan's Labyrinth, The Big Lebowski versus Alien.
Semi-final action right here. The final four.
What is this shit?
4 fucking masterpieces. That's what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
Matthew, is he?
Am I up first?
No, it's you, Jack.
No,
I believe.
Jack.
Me.
It's you.
Oh,
It's you.
Yeah.
Haha.
Well, I'll save us all some time and go Jurassic Park then, motherfuckers. Matthew, now it's your turn. I just had it locked in straight away. I just automatically went to Matt like, well, yeah, I know. Yeah. Jurassic Park
people
is
are calling me.
Oh, the Irish.
Bye, everybody.
The cocktails.
Yeah, we get called on the wind. By banshees. Okay. Let's talk this through. Let's just take a second here. You know that clip of John Bernthal going, no, wait, no. We're here now. Practical effects, visual effects, fantasy, storytelling, characters, action, adventure, innocence, production design, entertainment, trauma.
Which film are you discussing, Matthew?
Both. Score, beautiful,
Clever,
iconic. Both have some Spanish in it.
Goat's legs.
Goat's legs. And screaming root babies. One's got milk, one's melting ice cream, which is basically milk.
Unpleasant kitchen/dining scenes that have lots of tension.
Yep.
Got the wobbly jelly. You've got the fairies with the old fucking pale man over there.
Shit.
Again, so along similar lines to what Dr. Gain said earlier, I enjoy Jurassic Park more. I admire Pan's Labyrinth more. That's deep, Vincent. That's deep. That's deep right now.
Shit.
What does Matthew Stockton say?
Fuck. Fuck.
That's what Matt says. Oh, fuck.
What does the Matt say? Fuck. I really don't know. I really don't know. This is in the wargaming. I always get here.
Oh, interesting.
Bracket, it always ends up with these two, and and depending on what day it is, I have a different answer. But I'm only part of this equation.
Yes.
But you're the part that has to make a decision right now.
You're the part that is in the spotlight right now. Yes.
I get shit done. I make the hard decisions. Let's do that right now. I'm picking Jurassic Park.
like one of those Brazilian football commentators when somebody scores a goal.
Tim, what would you have done?
I mean, I would have delayed.
I would have abstained and walked off.
Thank Christ.
I think
down to you.
At this point, I will put in a vote for Pan's Labyrinth.
Just to be cool with the hipsters, Tim.
No,
we get it. We get it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Just trying to win back because you're the fan favorite. We get it. We understand. Fucking hell.
I was in my brain because I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, is there a moment like Jurassic Park is obviously amazing, but I was trying to think if there is a moment as satisfying in it as when, and I can't remember the character's name, but the kind of the servant woman.
Mercedes.
Yes, Mercedes. That's it. Gets the little knife out of her apron and slashes the captain's face.
Yeah, that is good.
It's the moment when the captain says, smashes the watch. I want my son to know what time I died. Said, no one's going to know you were ever a thing. Goes,
yes.
Bang. I'm like,
cinema.
Yeah, I get it. Again, I could have easily got. I could have literally the wind blowing on different days. I've literally picked this on different days, but I think, yeah. But wait, who's
Pan's Labyrinth? There's a piece of art.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Who's up first on this one?
Me? That would be you, Matt.
That would be you, Stogden. You Irish bastard.
Alien.
Wow.
Straight
in there.
Straight out of the gate. Alien. I don't want people to think that shitting on anything. I love The Big Lebowski. And again, similar to I watched it when I was probably too young to get it, but by the end of the film, I got something from it. And then the older I get, the more I get from it. And I love that film. It's beautiful and brilliant and fantastic and stupid and silly and quotable. Alien hits different. That's all I'm going to say.
Tim, you're up next. I'm trying to I try and convince Toothless to come and join me. If you're wondering why I'm down here,
hide behind your cat, you coward.
Well, I'm gonna make this simple for you, Jack, because I'm also gonna go for Alien.
Bold.
What would you have done, Jack?
I'd have gone for Toothless. Put some paw in my hello. Put some paw in my mouth. Here's a Toothless. Toothless. I would have gone for Alien as well. Here's the Toothless. She's upside down. Hello. Well, oh, she's wiggling. No,
She's tolerated as long as she wants. Yeah.
Yeah. She does not like being picked up.
Just around. Probably is Alien the most cat-focused film that we have on the list?
Oh, apart from Cats, which is now a third entry into this triple header main event.
Yeah,
Matt, please click the graphic to
intro music comes on and this thing comes down. Yeah. Brilliant.
Oh my god. They're going under the stage. She's bringing out a butthole.
It was me, Sequelisers. It was Cats all along.
It was Tom Hooper all along.
Fucking hell.
God. So it's T-Rex, or maybe Velociraptor, if you prefer, versus Xenomorph in our finale. Tim, Willie Slinger, mate.
I'll wait and see what happens.
Again,
you are first up.
2 films about people getting fucked over by capitalism.
And the running theme of the films we love here, weirdly enough.
Yeah, and man or humanity poking their nose where they ought not to. Oh man, it's this is a very difficult thing.
Yep. Poop demon and car chases.
Yeah, I've got a couple of different things here. I think car chase, very clearly Jurassic Park, iconic car chase. Poop demon, it's a lot. That's a big old pile of shit in Jurassic Park as well, but there's a lot of like probably poo in those entrails and stuff. And there's a lot of like body horror shit.
Yeah.
Couple of comments while you mull it over, Mr. Matum. Alien for the win. Cat beats goat. As a pet, I would agree. Alien has the better poop monster. Fair. Jurassic Park actually came out on this day. That is correct, by the way. It is the 29th anniversary today, as of the 11th of June.
God
damn.
That
Jurassic Park came out in wide release. Both great movies with terrible sequels. Who knew, James? It's the bad sequels to good movies. Who would have expected?
We should do a podcast.
Oh my god!
It's been a time loop this whole time.
Fucking feels like it.
Which franchise has the lower point? Considering you've just seen Jurassic World Dominion, Matthew, I'm guessing you're big fan.
Are we including AVP stuff?
Yes, it has xenomorphs in it, so yes. I think
the lower point goes to the Alien franchise.
Is Requiem the absolute dirt worst?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dominion is shit. Dominion is shit. I mean, feel free to go see it. You're on your own. My reviews online if you want to see it, but it is a bad movie. Having said that, in front of me was a little kid about 8 years old doing this every time a dinosaur came on the screen. So you know what? Sometimes it works. Whereas everyone who watched AVP was going,
what the fuck is this?
Because that film satisfies no one.
Yeah.
That's my logic about which one has the lowest point, should we say.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. Having not seen Jurassic World Dominion, I can't imagine it being worse than AVP Requiem. Can't possibly. It's at least mostly competently made. And yeah. Anyway.
I will say, if we're not judging Dune 2 on, Dune 1 and possible Dune 2, we can't be judging Jurassic Park on the sequels or Alien.
I agree. No, this is
but it's an interesting.
It is an interesting conversation.
Because
I don't think Ridley Scott coming back to Alien can't make a good Alien film, and
good Lord,
Steven Spielberg coming back to Jurassic Park can't make a good Jurassic Park film. So he's like, this is why these things are so singularly unique and interesting.
Should have got James Cameron to make Jurassic Park 2.
I'd be curious about
we did back in the day. Was James Cameron one of the directors? I can't even remember.
Paul Thomas
so
Anderson.
long ago.
Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yep.
Paul Thomas Anderson does
have come
Jurassic
to
Park.
I have come to a decision.
Go on, Tim.
Jurassic Park.
Dear God. Dear God in heaven.
Actually, just Xenos said something really interesting just to stall for time, because I have an answer to that.
What if we get Spielberg to do Alien and Ridley Scott to do Jurassic Park?
That's the worst idea. A Ridley Scott Jurassic Park would be awful, and a Steven Spielberg Alien would be awful. That's actually really astute. Like, no, you both stay away from this.
I think a Ridley Scott Jurassic Park would be worse than a Spielberg Alien.
I don't know. Spielberg's Alien stuff of the last 20 years has not been great. Spielberg's only Alien thing that's been good has been batteries not glued. No,
if he made Alien around when Alien was made, when you're still
Jaws era,
yeah.
Rather than, so in other words, an alternate universe where he doesn't hard pivot to aliens are cuddly and friendly with ET and goes, yeah, they're evil, and does it. Tim, interesting.
Yeah. Whereas what was Ridley Scott doing in 1993 too?
Fucking about.
Yeah.
Fucking
like
about.
1492 or something.
Yeah,
like
we're talking about just after Thelma and Louise, which again, angry ladies. Jurassic Park.
1492 Conquest of Paradise is 1992. So yeah.
Gets to the continent of America, finds that there's dinosaurs there.
Which is his lowest rated film, so it's like dirt worst.
I don't think it is. I mean, I know numbers wise.
In terms of directing, it is on Rotten Tomatoes, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. It's not that bad.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I agree. What are you doing, Jack?
I am deciding this fucking thing is what I'm doing. Two of my favorite films of all time, as I said many times before in previous sections of this bracket, when we had The Thing here and in there as well, like Alien, Jurassic Park, The Thing, three of my top 5 films ever, basically. Like 3 things that defined my love of cinema, that define my love of science fiction, and are a huge part of why I'm sat here doing this live stream and why we started Sequelisers in the first place. Sounds hyperbolic and facetious, but it's true. But I do have to make a decision. I do have to finish this off. And we can't go for 3 hours. So I am going to pick Jurassic Park as our winner.
Matt, before we fill it in the beautiful portrait, what would you have picked?
It would have been The Handmaiden. So no, it's so. I mean, like Tim a minute ago with the Pan's Labyrinth Jurassic Park thing. Until you are in that situation, I mean, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, there's no actual stakes here. But at the same time, we've put the stakes on ourselves. I think I might go Alien.
You contrarian motherfucker! You.
No, I think I might, but in reality, the inner child would be elbowing his way forward and say, Jurassic Park, you fucking bald traitor. And it's like, oh yeah, good point, inner child. It's Jurassic Park. So this would have been so difficult if I had to literally be involved, which I didn't have to be. But I think Alien might have pipped it, maybe, just
fair.
Maybe.
There's no wrong answers. Except
there aren't, and that's the everything on here we recommend entirely.
Yep.
Inception. There it is. Holy hell! We knew this would be difficult. We knew this would be hard. We knew it would be painful, and it was every inch of that.
Yep. And Stig from On Escapism comes and says, yes, Jurassic Park. And interestingly, when they did their best film ever, they also picked Jurassic Park. So if Sequelisers and Modern Escapism we have crossed over previously, and if we can cross over again and decide, we would just agree it's Jurassic Park. So yeah, there you
probably take a very different path to getting there.
Yes, a very different path. Look at that complete bracket, ladies and gentlemen. Please do
I don't think if anything got to the end, anything on here got to the end, except maybe Dogma. I
know Rich from Unequal Sequel was going to fight in Dogma's corner because he was our guest for the Kevin Smith episode. But fuck me, Dogma was never going to make it past.
But I feel like I could easily argue almost everything on here and say no, and this is why. Because they all got here to the first point with that thing. Because obviously a lot of nostalgia is driving this as well.
I think a lot of people would be shocked if like Road to Perdition won or Zodiac won,
that's fair. Yeah.
Or Shaun of the Dead won.
Apollo 13?
Apollo 13 would be a controversial pick. I think Dune is a controversial pick as well. I think Jurassic Park, Alien, Pan's Labyrinth, Big Lebowski, yeah. I think that's one of the less controversial picks. But yeah, I think that top 4 is all and out fucking amazing. And Alien and Jurassic Park are 2 of the best films ever made. So there you go. There we have it, folks. That is our finale. We need to work out what we're going to do from the live streams from now on because fuck me.
Actors.
No. We're going to be here like 35 different things on each side for their career.
We discussed the idea about doing actors like the top rated, like the 16 top rated films.
Potentially, we might be doing actors, I've got some games and some quizzes we can do as well in the future. Yes, this caps off our Director Showdown series.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We might take a sort of couple of months to work out what we're doing and do just kind of one-off stuff in the live streams until then. And then
we've still got back with a new format as well. Don't worry, plenty of guests coming up. My mic just fell over. Hello, Mike. Thank you. In the meantime, I'll take this off. Enjoy it one last time. Matthew will share it all on the Discord and all that kind of stuff in a moment once we've wrapped all this up. But let's go back to our usual view. Hello, back to that.
Hello.
Just a quick reminder: it is the 5th anniversary. We're about a month late, but who's counting? You can get, or will be able to get soon, our very own Sequelisers pin badges. You can see the little red pins in the back there as well. Even
that focused quite nicely that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's a dual pinner, which is always good.
A double pin. Yeah, I had another pin of mine fall off my jacket, which is a little Dungeons and Dragons heart-shaped little D20.
Oh, nice.
A single pin, so it fell off my jacket. Double pinner, the Sequelisers one that's on there, still on my fucking jacket. There you go. Hardy enamel pins. And also coming up very soon, in collaboration, as you can expect, from John Scarrett, the amazing artist we always work with. We love John very much. And the printers we work with, Vino Sangre, here in Norwich, we have the anniversary t-shirt, the Resurrection Tour 2022, which I think is fucking amazing. It looks really cool, and John's done an incredible job on that. And on the back, it's a double-sided t-shirt, ladies and gentlemen. It has all of our various kind of tour dates in a way of various cities we've been on throughout terrible sequels and terrible prequels and all that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of in-jokes in there.
There's a lot of in-jokes.
Oh, yeah.
There's a hell of a lot of weird shit going on. You can pick up the references and stuff like that, hopefully, if you're a diehard fan. They will all be up on the Sequelizer shop in the next couple of weeks or so. We will, of course, make an announcement for that and all that kind of stuff as well. There will also be Patreon-exclusive versions of the T-shirt coming to Patreon if you are on one of those tiers. You will be getting a variant, essentially like a variant cover like they do in comics for that T-shirt as well. So, yeah, thank you, everybody, for your support over the last 18 months or so. I think it's been at this point of doing live streams, making this Director Showdown stuff possible. Thank you for joining us in the chat and helping us make these very difficult decisions. Weird enough, because there's 3 of us, we never actually turned to the chat in this episode. But yeah, thank you very much.
It was be on us. We knew whatever came out, we wouldn't have to blame anybody. We'd have to be like, oh, well, that's because. Like, no, this was our decision. That's, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. We very much appreciate it. We will be back very soon with more live stream goodness. And of course, please do subscribe to the main podcast. As I said, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 comes out on Tuesday. Fuck, what a fucking episode. If you want to hear me just scream and shout and make people vomit with my words, that's an episode for you right there. I have maybe one of the most shameful confessions I've ever had in the history of the show as well.
Oh,
yeah.
The time you killed that guy.
Yeah, the time I killed a dog with a Segway. And coming up in the next episode after that is apparently something worse somehow. And then after that, it's our season 10 finale, and we're going out big. We're going out in style.
Going out strong.
Yeah, we've got a commentary coming up for the next episode. So something that's somehow even worse than Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. We are watching that together tomorrow morning, of all things, on a lovely Sunday morning treat. So, yeah.
On the Lord's Day! Jesus Christ!
On the Sabbath. On the Sabbath. And I don't roll on the Sabbath usually.
Show me Shabbat.
Exactly. Please do, as always, follow us on Twitter. You can see all of our Twitter handles at the bottom there. You can follow each of us there. You can go to Sequelisers.com. You can find the entire history of all of these previous live streams. If you're watching us on YouTube, please do like and subscribe there as well. You can also find the entire history of all of the live streams we've previously done. If you want to catch up and find out how the fucking Glorious Bastards beat Pulp Fiction, or how The Departed ended up being our Scorsese pick, go and look at all the previous live streams there as well.
I was going to say that,
Matthew,
if you literally screenshot the start of each of the videos, or go back to the Discord if you're on a Discord, you can always just do this with your friends. Do the same thing. Literally take our brackets, which I literally as they're a seeded bracket, not based on our preference. They're based on various metrics like IMDb rating, that sort of stuff. And tell us how you would have got there yourself. Tell us what your final what would this bracket have looked like for you? What would it have been? Oh,
that's a juicy one. Yeah. With all your previous choices. Yeah. If you have some film nerd friends, run through that.
As Matt said, 3 hours. This is the way to do it.
Yeah, we will be arguing about this in the Discord as well. Links for all that kind of stuff, the shop, the Discord, all that kind of stuff is at sequelisers.com. You can see that little link down in the bottom corner there. And of course, like I said, if you want the exclusive merch and early access, like could have already listened to the Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 episode. If you're on patreon.com/sequelisers, you get it without the ad, you get it early access, and you get bonus content as well.
Pointing at Tim's dick.
Pointing at Tim's dick. That gives you bonus content and early access. With that out of the way, thank you very much, everybody. And we will be back very soon with another live stream. Until then, have a lovely month. Bye.